maybe I should explain what we try to do to set up experiment.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Yeah, walk us through. Do you block by flows, block by feed meal, and what are the biggest things you block there?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is you try to, what's the objective of the experiment, right? You try to make that clear. Is it to validate a recent feeding change, or is it to evaluate a new additive or a different dose, et cetera? And then from there, we try to determine which flow is going to give us the best answer, right, for that. So if we're trying to improve wean to finish mortality, right, we're probably going to select two flows. One flow that's of high health, right, and high intake, to where the magnitude of difference may be smaller or not apparent. And then we're going to select a low health, low intake type flow where the magnitude of difference may be greater if the technology or the strategy works, right? And we'll base it from there. Some situations we may only pick one flow, right? But we definitely want to try to have source and genetics similar. And then we also want to try to choose flows in which sites are taken care of by multiple growers. So the traditional AMVC wean to finish barn is a 2,400 head wean to finish barn, which we would usually have two barns per site. So we'd have two 2,400s. And those barns are going to be filled in back-to-back weeks. So what we can do is we can put, one barn on treatment A and then another barn on treatment B to try to take out those confounding variables of caretakers, ventilation, environment, water intake, feed intake, et cetera. So I would say, at least 75% of our system in our wean to finish barns are set up that way.
Okay.
So we can have a lot of A to B side-by-sides on the same site that are on different treatments, which tries to take out some of that variation out. So not every system's set up that way. That's going to cause some complications for others. So basically what we do there is once we have the objective and the flow determined, we try to determine, how many closeouts, because that would be our in would be our closeout or our barn, right? That would be the experimental unit. How many of those do we need to generate a significant response, right? So we do a power test and determine, whether we need 25 or 50 or 100 closeouts. And then, we'll start the experiment from there. And then when that's concluded, we'll run stats, write up a report, and see if we need to try to do that experiment under another situation, or if the finding is conclusive, or if there's no finding to conclude that there was no impact, and move on. So
cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we set that up in terms of the wean to finish side.